I don't know if you can hear me. NIXX is up 80 cents. Wow. Fingers down 6 cents. Drug is up 667. Donald Trump is up 146. All of a sudden, I'm feeling quite tired. Maybe this coffee will help. Zizou was numero uno, the one, numero duo. Gary was third. Red Pepper fourth. Vincent fifth, actually, but he thinks he was three. That's good. Top three, top five. Hey, Paul, Scott, Richie, Eddie. Crazy volume and finger. Why is the price not going anywhere? I don't know how to get it across. I don't think I'm very successful convincing you. But because Ann Wagner doesn't think it's appropriate to have full transparency on all trades, and because Gary Gensler does not enforce settlement, and because Adina Friedman is completely indifferent, and Robert Cook is just a slob. Well, I don't know if he's a slob. He might be neat, but in any event, he looks more like Bunker Hunt than he does Angelique's husband. Forgot his name. Billy Joe Shaver, Billy Joe, whatever. So what happens is they sell stock that is not located, it is not owned, it is not borrowed, and it never settles. They do it under the reg show exemption for market makers. So in finger motion today, you say it's crazy volume, 318,000. We'll ask him, but I'll bet at least 200 to 250 is just crossing non-existent shares which do not exist. So by selling without enforcement of settlement and no violations for breaking the law, they can suppress the price. Now, alternatively, you can make arguments that finger motion shouldn't be worth $100 million. If you want to make those, I think the stock price is far more reflective of counterfeit selling than it is of some sort of fundamental value, because there's a lot of buying over the years that gets washed out. You can buy once, they can sell. You can buy one share for $1. They can sell 1,000 shares, one at a time. And if they need more, they can sell 10,000, sell 100,000, sell 1 million, sell 10 million. That's what they do. But that just doesn't seem to suffice for what's going on. Why doesn't the price go anywhere? Because they sell. There's no price discovery. There's absolutely no price discovery. It's all selling, but it's not real shares. I don't know how to explain it to you. I sound like a broken record. Ham was correct. Although, who mentioned it to you first? But Ham was correct. Hey, Nunya. Hey, Susan. Hey, Kitties. Hey, Lucky Boy. Hey, Frank. Hey, Susan. Augustine. Kitties. Ryan. Folks. Rondo. Kitties. Guten. Guten. I'm all choppy. Wonder what that means. Choppy? Chop, chop? Chop, chop? Counterfeits everywhere. Oh boy. Mr. Pitiful. He's always been a little bit of Mr. Pitiful. %12 is possum. Divided by 7. No, that's not right. Divided by 72. I'll have to look up the rule of 72 before Ham calls in. So if you use 12%, anyway, I don't know how to do it, but at 10%, I think your money doubles in 7 years. So at 12%, your money doubles in a shorter period of time. And I don't know the formula. Divide 72 by your expected annual interest rate. Okay, so if you take 72 divided by 12, 6, you double your money in 6 years. That's pretty good. And then you do it again in 6 years and again in 6 years. And there are investments out there that can pay you 12% without a lot of risk. I mean, there's always risk. There's always risk. But I think that would be fantastic. 1% a month. Oh, real shorts. Yeah, it's possible. But real shorts, anyway, at some point it becomes semantics. At some point it becomes semantics. Citadel decides the market price. In a way. All right, here comes Sam. All right, hang on. I've got to put the speaker up.
No problem.
Battery 100%. Connected to Phil's iPhone.
All right. It didn't go yet. All right. That should be working. If you pay for your gasoline.
I just came out of therapy.
Did it start with your mother or your father?
My mother will never forgive me, so that's over with. It's beautiful out in New York today, so if you have the opportunity, get outside. It's beautiful. You know, I can't say anything more than that. It is what it is. I'll give you an example. For example, let's just start from where I recapped on Friday. I had people would tell me nixx is going to go back up again. I had a couple people buy pretty good position. A couple of small people, I've been advising them to take their dollar profit. And, you know, I have guys that own 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 shares a piece. And I'm just telling them to flip it, take your quick $4,000, $3,000 and use that to cover any other trades that you have are not doing well. Keep lowering your costs, and you don't have to own all these names. You can trade them and make money from it. But, like I said, just keep doing it. Finger motion is not giving us any chance to trade the stock. It's been under attack for months, every day. And one person said, well, the quarter wasn't that great. And I said to them, you know what? You shouldn't do anything on Wall Street. No business is better because they can't complain if you don't do a business because there is no business. Companies need to start somewhere and build a business. Again, if you want a mature business, go buy Apple Computer. That's how I look at it. If you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. This is the type of company that if they get the chance to build, just based on the news that I see, I'm not that stupid, that this could be a real powerful company doing business in China. But getting to that finish line and these attacks is just brutal. But the company's not doing anything to help the shorts out in any shape or form. And that's how I look at it. If the company was raising money, for example, CBM has raised money the whole way along. I know Gert wants to save people with head and neck cancer. I got it. But he's destroyed the shareholder base because he keeps raising money. Every time the stock goes, he raises more money. And the shorts know that. This company's done nothing like that. And that's why they're attacking it like they are, is because they know there's no way out. They're not trying to sell it down to sell more stock cheaper. They're doing it because it's desperation. And and if you look at it, say, okay, DJT, and I just had this conversation with a good shareholder. Who in their right fucking mind would be short DJT? Number one, you tried to assassinate him. Johnny Tobacco put up some nice charts on the days before the attempts, how they were shorting it. You don't think there's going to be an investigation into who's shorting this stock? Someone is trying to kill the president, and they're going to get to the bottom of it. And I look at it saying, you have to be insane to keep trying to play here. And I can't imagine anybody on a real professional trading desk still playing this game because they would be told, get away from it. Because that's how dangerous it is. But still, they still play it. If you short 20, 30 million shares of that stock, wherever you are, offshore, whoever you are, they're going to come get you. And if they can get them, they're going to get them all. Because President Trump can't come in here and just say, oh, just settle DJT, not everybody else. Which is what the best thing we have going for us is that they just can't fix one stock. They got to fix them all. And that's why I keep telling you, that's how I believe. If you don't believe what I outlined, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just using common sense. Or if you like, go on DJT, go buy some puts and yell you want to kill the fucking guy and see what happens to you. Tell us what happens when they knock on your door. Because that's what they're trying. They're basically shorting the stock, telling them they want to kill them. So again, these are things of common sense. The people selling finger motion, where are they going? This morning, I posted since 5 o'clock this morning, I was up. These guys were washing trades starting at 7 o'clock. I think I started doing it. Every trade was 10 to 15,000 shares. There wasn't a bid or an offer, yet they found each other in the dark. The buyer and seller found each other in the dark. I don't know how you find each other in the dark, but that's what they're doing. So that tells me when you see 200 to buy and 300 for sale and 15, 18,000, 12,000 keeps trading, those are trades that they both sides know they're doing, and they're just crossing it themselves. That's just what they're doing. There's not the market say. They can do it in anywhere, any price. And if you're lucky enough to catch the bottom on it, God bless you. That's all I can tell you. That what they do is so openly criminal. I mean, it's like insane just to watch it. But we have to watch it because this is the stock market, and I hope that everybody understands it. They tried to silence me 5 times already. I've been kicked off of Twitter 3 times. I lost all my followers. I lost all my notes. I had all kinds of stuff that I saved. It's not easy finding all the old stories or remembering where they are to help educate you on it. But that's what they did. I didn't keep backups of all this stuff. So as it comes to my mind, I try to put it up there. But again, 12 days. Tomorrow we're down to 11. If you just read Patrick Byrne on Twitter, he can tell you how focused he is, how focused Pat Byrne is on one thing, getting President Trump elected. He's talking about the election fraud. That's what Pat Byrne does. And that's what he's been doing. And he's here to help us all. So I'm trying to get my best to get him on a call, to give everybody a little pump here so you can understand what's going on. But Pat Byrne does not fool around. This guy's world class. And when he starts something, he doesn't end it till he finishes it. And he told you in the voice recording that when he gets in, he's been offered a position. And when he gets in, the only thing he wants to fix is stock settlement. So you got that coming to us. You got DJT's going to bust out. There's so many positive things here. I can't imagine what these guys are doing on the short side. Are they just going to go call the cops and tell them we need help? What do they do? Oh, they go to the FBI? I'm sorry, we made a mistake. I sold 230 million shares to stock. I spent all the money and, on cocaine and hookers. And, what am I going to do now? It's your problem. Again, just look at those stocks, Jeffries, Interactive Brokers, VIRT, all those stocks are going to take massive hits when stock settlement's enforced. These guys have been making money at the expense of the consumer, of all your money's in a pension account. Where do you think the money's getting stolen out of? Your pension accounts are being looted. And for the people that don't understand the crime, they have no idea. That's how it undermines everything. Your pension accounts are all being robbed. You may not see it or think anything about it, but they keep nickel and diming it and just keep taking it like it's their own piggy bank. And the people that are doing it are a select few. What could there be, 1,000, 2,000 people worldwide doing this with the ties to do the stuff? You got Jeff Easton, the Kramers, what do we call, Yorkville. I forget the other one. There's a bunch of small ones. They use the same brokerage firms, the brokers, Wedbush, Benchmark, all these, I forget all the stupid names. I'm going blank for a second.
Al-Qaeda.
It's the same people using the same brokerages. It's the same accounts. It's the same thing. And if you look at it, Ken Griffin bought a condo, William. I can't remember what he paid for it. He couldn't have bought it a year ago in Chicago. And he sold it. He lost 50% of his money. I think he lost $20 million. I can't remember the number. If anyone wants to Google that. Ken Griffin sells Chicago condo. I forget how much he lost. It looks to me, either this guy's the biggest idiot in the world, or he's doing some sort of payback to somebody. Like, hey, I own a condo. Why don't you buy my condo? It's worth 20. Buy it for 40 million. And then you can sell it back out at the market. Who gives a shit? That's what it looks like he did. Because this is the guy with the best real estate brokers in the world, and he lost 50% of his money in a year. Doesn't make any sense. It's either he did it for tax reasons or he paid off somebody. That's a good way to do it without giving them money. Overpay for their property, and then you turn around and you sell it, and it's like a losing trade for him. No big deal. So everything around this guy is shaky, criminal. It's just remarkable that the U.S. government has a few people that are just robbing everyone blind. Like the guy from VIRT, the other market maker. This guy's stolen enough money that he bought the hockey team in the NHL. And then he stands on Twitter and he makes fun of people who are getting robbed. I mean, just think of the balls on this character. And I know someone who knows his brother, and they said his brother says he's a cheap fuck and a scumbag. That's his brother. So again, this company, BIRT, is just a market maker firm, just shorting everything, paying for for your order flow, and they short against everything. That's all they do, and they're billions of dollars. The brokerage stocks continue to go up. Everyone else has a bad business model, but the brokerage firms. Think about that for a second. Whether you're working on cancer treatment, AMC, the movie theaters, GameStop, the games, whatever, finger motion, this, that, it doesn't make a difference. Everyone's business model sucks, but the brokerage firms. Think about that for a second, how criminal that is. I'm sorry, William, I'm just in the car. I don't see any quotes, so if there's something you want me to talk about, let me know.
We don't hear any quotes either. Nothing quotable today. If they thought they could win, they would let it. So Griffin purchased a condo for $15 million, sold it for 11.2.
Is that the one you lost money on?
I don't think so, because he didn't lose 50% on that one.
Right.
That's another one. So maybe he did it another time. He lost 3.8 million, paying somebody $3 million for their effort.
I mean, it just seems like an easy way for him to move money around instead of paying them off. I don't know. It's just strange that this guy has world-class properties everywhere. And here he is that he's taking he's taking a big loss on a piece of property. It doesn't make any sense.
How much of today's volume in finger is real?
We were at almost 300,000. I would say at least 230,000 is fake out of 300,000.
There's a gentleman here that doesn't understand, with all the high volume, how finger motion can be going down, which made me feel like if he's been listening for a long time, I haven't done a very good job explaining what goes on, but maybe you'll take a stab at it.
Just give me what was the question again? He doesn't understand why it's going down.
There's so much volume in finger. How can it be going down?
Well, there is no volume of finger. It's probably 60,000 shares that they naked shorted, something stupid like that. And all they're doing is basically selling it back and forth to themselves. That's all they're doing. They're going from one account to the other account. That's all. So with the volume is fake. They go out and they cross stock. So the real short needs to buy stock, and the naked short doesn't really care because he's just going to walk away. So he sells stock to the real short. They're the same person, really. And that trade is only done between the two of them. So it's, if they do a trade and they're the only ones that can participate in it, that's a prearranged trade, meaning they're just trading amongst themselves. Well, they've done that so much today. They're 80% of the volume, or 70% of the volume. That's what they did.
And how do they drive it down?
All they do, they basically cross it, drop all the bids, they cross it at a lower point, and then they offer the 60,000 I'm talking about, that's real volume. They use those sales to mark it down. They hit anybody who buys it. I know people who bought it. They probably shorted it to them. So the combination of the big volume and the selling, the naked short selling, gives the appearance that the stock is being sold. Does the guy understand that now?
I doubt it.
The appearance of the stock is today, oh my God, this stock never trades this much volume. Who's selling it? Well, the answer is nobody. So the volume is fake. And the real volume, which is probably 60 or 70,000 shares, they naked shorted anyone who comes in to buy it, they naked shorted. So they're marking it down on light volume, meaning only 60,000 shares. The rest is all fake.
Yeah. People are saying you were right about Nixx.
Oh, big deal. I don't care. I just make money. I don't know anything about the company. That's what brokers talk. They called me up. They told me, and I told you. That's it. I don't really give a shit about it. I could care less. If you can make a trade out of it, make a trade. If you want to hold on and go for the gusto, you know more about it than me. But I know when I got the call, the stock was 259, traded lower. So anybody that followed me got in below that number, 260. So 260, 360, you made $1. If you made 50 cents, $1, whatever it is. If you bought 1,000 finger at 3 and you made 50 cents on 1,000 shares, you own finger motion at 250 today. And that's how you keep averaging, you get your trade down and your cost down. When finger motion turns, that's when you cash out all your profit. That's how it works. That's how most people do it. I've had big losses in stocks. So when I make $10,000 somewhere else, I used to turn around and sell, 500 shares or 1,000 shares of a stock that I was getting killed in. I made 10. I sell it. I lose 5, and I was still plus 5 on the day, or plus whatever it is, maybe plus 2, and sell $8,000 loss. And this way, I just kept moving through the motions until I washed out the $100,000 in losses, whatever it was.
Nixx slow covering in higher rates, 300%. NUZE with 300% rates.
Listen, stock loan is a complete fraud. They make up their numbers. They make up shares. I get reports. Finger Motion had 20,000 shares to lend out. The stock ticks up a quarter. There's 250,000 they can lend out. Where'd the shares come from? It's impossible, and it's always funny that it's a round number, 250,000. When they had 20,000 that were lending out, they didn't really have 17.5. They got 20 all the time. They make up their own numbers. Listen, this is what I believe. I presented the case. Trump is going to win. Pat Burns is going to get involved. Devin Nunes is screaming about investigations for naked short selling. It's going to happen. These bad guys that we're talking about have no power over the people that are going to be in place. And those are our people now. All right? Gensler is going to be gone. The head of enforcement left already. This is some government. The SEC in charge of our capital markets. This is no one running the show. Zero. Hester Pierce is lying. Gary Gensler is going to get thrown out. They all know what's going on. We put the truck at their front door 15 times. You're telling me they don't know who Jeff Easton is? Yeah, give me a break.
So if Finger were to go private, would it start a massive short squeeze?
Finger going private would be the worst thing in the world for all of us. Let's say someone makes a $10 bid for the company. Everyone realizes the most you're going to get for your stock is $10, right?
Not Steven Rosenberg.
Steven Rosenberg, go easy on his wife just passed away. So go easy on the guy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh.
We can get back to next week picking on him, but right now he's a good man, and I met his wife. And,
oh my gosh.
And she just passed away.
That hurts. That really hurts.
So it's just life goes on. Jeff Easton doesn't give a flying fuck about Steve Rosenberg, that he has to pay for funeral costs or whatever it has to be. He's sitting here, that fat bastard. I hope he chokes on a ham sandwich, that fat fuck. And that's what you guys don't understand. These guys are here trying to rob. They're in the bank with no mask and no gun, and they're just loading up bags of money. That's what these guys are doing. And it's got to come to an end. And I don't give a shit who you are. You're going to get busted. And people like Bernie Madoff went to jail. The guy from FTX went to jail. These guys are going to jail. They're low-hanging fruit. They're just criminals. I think they're going to grab, what's his name, Ken Griffin, and clip his wings, and watch how fast he starts to wind down from his glory days. They won't arrest him, but they're going to make him clip his wings and shut down these operations because he just can't keep robbing everybody.
Why
Plus, he has
not?
all the money. He's worth $35 billion of robbing.
Why not? He's providing us free commissions. So what if he
Yeah.
makes 35 billion?
That's what he's doing.
He's doing it for our best interest.
He's a good guy. Listen, that's the top of the totem pole. I'll be happy with them getting, the guys from Yorkville, Jeff Easton, the Kramers, all those savvy management. They should be losing their condos, their houses, their everything. They gold fillings, everything. Throw their wives out in the street like fucking prostitutes. Fuck them. They stole everybody's money. I mean, people, this is not a joke. I'm trying to tell you that this is serious stuff. And if it doesn't end now, it's never going to end. And you're all going to be robbed forever. That's how important this is. And, people keep saying, well, you think he's going to do it? Just Google Truth Social with Devin Nunes and look at the press releases. He reports right back to Donald Trump. Trust me, they know about naked short selling. I can't believe these guys don't have the balls to cover. At least not get out. Instead, they're still playing games. Tells me that in finger motion, they're trying to cover the real short. And the naked shorts is going to wind up taking it on the chin. And some prime broker's going to eat, dust on that whole thing. They're going to get crushed. Remember, DJT, there's probably, 300 people shorting it on a daily basis. Finger motion is just one person. And he's controlling both accounts. Very different than all these other names. Stocks like Wolf, they probably got, 100 short sellers in there playing against crypto, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Finger motion, just one. Jeff Easton and his buddies. And Jeff Easton controls both accounts. Any other questions, Lynn?
Just some stupid one.
I don't even know where is finger motion at. I mean, I don't even have any idea.
It's under $2.
$1.80.
It's $1.91. 336,000 shares. Down 7.
336,000 shares, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing how they just keep coming up with more stock for sale, more stock for sale, more stock for sale.
So Ryan points out that Warren Buffett sold $75 billion worth of Apple, and Apple goes up.
Everything goes up. So Warren Buffett, who was our almighty leader forever, okay, is now viewed as a clown. Is that what he is? He's became a clown, Warren Buffett. No matter what he does, doesn't make a difference anymore, right? He sold Bank America. He was selling Bank America. He sold Apple. In the early days when Warren Buffett did something, boy, those stocks were shit on for a long time. Well, that tells you that most of the stuff in the stock market is all pre-programmed. It's all, program, related stuff.
It means we're in the beginning of a blow-off top in the market, and we're going much higher, but just briefly.
I think that I agree with you that the stock is going into the hands of weak hands.
Why you and him fighting for the company more in the CEO? He doesn't say one. Oh, more than the CEO? That's not true. Look,
Well,
Benjamin, the problem with being a CEO, you can't promote your stock. You can't talk about your stock with new information unless it's distributed to everybody simultaneously first. And so the criminals can collude, they can cheat, they can harangue, they can impugn, and they can do whatever they want because Gary Gensler doesn't enforce any securities laws as it relates to his friends who helped Goldman Sachs make 85% of their revenue from stock loan and 75% of that is profit. So just get used to it. Gensler is corrupt as that guy that sold cocaine. He's as corrupt as anybody out there. Gary Gensler is, and he's going to be your next Treasury Secretary when Kamal is president.
CEOs are all afraid because the lawyers tell them you can't speak about your company, you can't do anything. So I can't. I'm defending my investment. I have people, good friends of mine, buy NIXX. I don't know anything about it, so what am I telling you? I don't give a shit. Sell it. I could care less.
So would you call the ability to sell endless amount of shares literally infinite downside? Would you call it that?
Call it downside?
Because most of the volume is fake, shares sold lower and lower and lower and lower. It is literally infinite downside. I don't agree with that, but I'm asking you.
Listen, the more shares they sell, the more probability they're going to get busted because they're going to have fails to deliver. If you look at it, why won't you just go sell? Today they sold, let's say today was 300,000 shares at $1, at $2, at $600,000. You can go out there and sell 1,000 shares at Costco and make more money. It's $800. Why would you even bother? Because they know that they can the smaller cap markets are not controlled. Institutions are not here. So they're able to manipulate the stocks because there's no institutional buying to drive up when they knock it down. Retail buying, like everybody on this phone, once you buy your stock, we all stand there with our finger up our ass and we can't do anything else because we're all broke. So that's the mentality of the short selling, the naked short selling. Pick on the retail investor. They can't defend themselves. So we stood up and defended ourselves. So for the person that's asking why we're fighting, because we're defending ourselves. And when someone punches me, I'm going to fight back. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. I can go fight for 100 companies, but I don't have the money. I don't have any money invested in Wolf. I did a long time ago when it was 60 cents when I told everybody. I flipped it, sold it. I also bought GDC. It went down. I was crushed. I averaged down. Then I made a nice hit on the squeeze to 12. I don't own it anymore. So I'm defending what I own. And I have every right to defend what I own. You don't want to listen to it? I don't care. Move along. But I'm telling you right now, you're all going to get fucked if we don't fix this. Every stock you play in, you will get robbed and lose until you're broke. I mean, I don't care who thinks they're a smart ass, reading charts and doing this, you're going to get robbed. I know the best. They all get robbed. That's how it goes. Big stock settlement, and the market will be, you guys won't believe how easy it is to make money when you understand the real stock market. That's how easy it is. You can see the danger, you can feel the danger, and you'll know about it. Here, it's just a big fucking rat trap. They just keep selling it until you fucking choke. Very different situation.
So I guess this guy wants you to read tea leaves, but is that China emergency vehicle contract of 50 million, 100 million more over 4 years?
I think it's a massive deal. Just go whatever town you live in and go count up the emergency vehicles and get back to me.
Yeah, but that's here. China doesn't need that many, does it? Just two? Just two vehicles for the whole country?
Two for the whole country. Listen, there's something else to it. When you do get it, when the CEO does agreed to do the quote with you. I'm curious of why they had to file for the license. One time, you're the only company that has this special license with that ministry or whatever the hell it is. Why was it important that the company made a statement about that? It said in the press release, William, it's the only one, the only license has been issued to finger motion. It made a point of addressing it that way. And I think there's something more to it. I don't know.
All right, so Steven Rosenberg wants you to remember Dole Foods, because Dole Foods didn't squeeze, but he thinks that if Finger does the same thing Dole Foods did, there'll be a squeeze. My memory with Dole Foods is a judge figured out, give them $4 more 3 years down the road, but maybe you remember it better than I do.
Yeah, yes, I do. It did not squeeze. The CEO took the company private. Instead of paying 13, he paid 10. So the shareholders started a lawsuit saying, hey, man, you took the company over. It's too cheap. So the CEO, they went to court, they sued him, and the judge ruled in favor of the shareholders. Wall Street had nothing to do with it at this point.
It was all very orderly, too. They counted how many shares were oversold, came up with $3 or $4, all very orderly, not a squeeze at all.
Well, the problem was, they said, all right, everyone who owned the stock when the company went private is entitled to $2.75. Let's make it free. All you have to do is show proof that you own it. Come to the window, like at the racetrack, give me your ticket that you won the race, and you'll get your proceeds. Well, the problem was the company only had, I think 38 million shares and like 49 million showed up, or there was 13 million extra showed up.
But there was no squeeze. It was just arithmetic.
No, it was private. The company was private already. The company wasn't trading, it was private.
Okay.
So everybody showed up with their tickets to get paid $3. You know, if you own 2,000 shares, you want your $6 grand, it's for nothing, right?
Right.
Well, everybody showed up with their proof. And the brokerage firms now got a problem because there was 13 million extra shares in the system.
Yeah.
That exposed the problem with the stock settlement system. There's your whole, that was your question that you wanted answered. And we tried to do that, but shareholders do not operate and work as one. They're lazy. If you tell everybody send their statements in, they're afraid to send it in, they don't want to see what they're doing, blah, 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 blah. In that case, you had to operate as one or else you didn't get compensated. So everyone did it. Hey, why not? It's free money. I just got to take a snapshot. In all the stocks that we have, we're trying to get people to work together, and 30% of the people do, and everybody else doesn't do it. They're too lazy. And that's why the shorts win all the time, because the longs do not unite. This is as close as you're going to get to uniting. Finger motion shareholders are united. GameStop shareholders united. Then it squeezed, then they really tried to unite, and then Wall Street took care of them. They beat them up. And the CEO sold them out. So that game ended. I don't know many companies that are fighting and standing up for the shareholders that finger motion. If they do turn on us, then we have a big problem, but I haven't seen it.
So I guess Steven's point is Finger has many, many more shareholders than Dole Foods, and it could not go private. It would cause a panic if it were announced that it was.
Well, no, because when you make, listen, when someone were to make a $10 bid for the company, the shorts would throw us a party. Because the worst they can lose is the $10. Do you understand that?
The worst they can lose is $10 shorts.
Well, if someone makes a $10 bid.
Oh yeah.
They're basically stopped out.
Yeah, they don't have any risk anymore.
That's it. The risk is to $10. That's it. And that's what people don't understand. The risk is the $10. That's why you don't do a takeover. That's why you got to do things like John Berta did. He did a dividend. What did it do? It caused fucking massive problems. Became MMTLP. Pat Byrne did it, 3 to 128. Finger motion will do it. I just don't know what's holding it up. That's a question for the CEO. I think it has something to do with the auditor, and that's what backed them all up. So there's nothing you can say. You got to wait. You think I want to keep continuing with this nonsense? And on finger motion, everyone could, I watched it this morning, and all you saw was 10,000, 15. I put up the times of all the trades. The volume go from 175 to 198. Another trade, another trade, another trade. So you saw all the wash trades I put up, 70% of them. Then I went to rehab, and it comes to a crawl now. Now nothing's going on. So what happens is, in the morning, these guys get a call. Someone's looking for delivery of stock, right? You say, well, there's a good firm. Someone wants the delivery. How much is it? Oh, we need Mr. Easton. You owe us 230,000 shares today. And Mr. Easton goes like this. Really? We bought that from Morgan Stanley. They didn't deliver it to you yet? No. Okay, let me get right back to you. Jeff Easton tells him, hey, cross 300,000 shares today. I got to give delivery to E-Trade because I sold 300,000 shares to E-Trade. He calls him back and says, hey, E-Trade, I'm sorry about that. The trade was, I just did the trade now, 300,000 shares. I purchased it. You'll get delivery. I bought it from Merrill Lynch. And E-Trade says, thank you very much. And he's so proud, he's going to give him all the numbers. Oh, I got it from Tony and Merrill just saw me buy it. Because he knows he's covering up his crime. So he's the first guy to tell you, oh, I did it already. That's how they do it. So now the naked short just covered the real short. The real short's delivered the shares back, and everybody's happy. And each day, you get these rolling, they call it rolling the short position. They just keep rolling it. It doesn't go away. What makes it go away? A spike up in the stock. Margin makes it go away. A regulator coming in. Those are all the things that make it happen. Tremendous news from the company. These are things that make it happen. But these are three things we have no control over. The company's telling you they got major things, but the shorts keep selling it. So everybody on the call thinks that it's not a major thing because it doesn't reflect in the stock price. So we all put our heads down and say, that must not be a big deal. Jeff Easton knows everything about China. Oh, I'm sorry, he knows everything about Yahoo. He knows nothing about China, but yet he's commenting on China. I like to ask him, why someone have a conference call with Jeff Easton? Let's talk about China. What do you know about it? What do you like, egg rolls? What do you like? He doesn't know anything. And it's unfortunate, but I can do it. I'm telling you, I can control any stock. News comes out, knock it down. People go, what does that mean? It must mean it's bad. Hold on a second. Let's get seeking out for the write a story. Give the guy $10,000 in cash. Call Tony up and write a negative story, Tony. What should I say? Oh, the company's diluting. The CEO's a crook. And their business margins are decreasing. It has no future. And that's the end of the game. And that's what they do. It's easy. We're bucking the trend. We trap these motherfuckers and we're going to get them. I can't tell you what day. It's impossible. But to me, everything's pointing in the right direction. And the company is building. If the company had no vision, I would sit there and say, hey, the company makes fucking crayons. How many yellow fucking crayons can they sell? But guess what? The company's doing top-up business, cell phone minutes, this, that, putting this, doing that. The company's building. Let it build. If the company is a flop in a year from now on fundamentals, shame on me. I invested in a company that's a flop. Right now, the company's announcing things that show that it's growing, not going backwards. It's going forward. And I told you before, in China, The short sellers have nothing they can do to dismantle their momentum in China. Over here, these scumbags would call up. Let's say they got a deal with Disney. They would call them up. Oh, call up. I want to get a complaint against the CEO of this company. You're doing business with them. He rapes little boys. This guy's this. He sells crack. That's what they do. Think about it. You can do it yourself. Find a company. You want to short it? Just go call up the bigger company that gave them the deal. Call them out. They're going to say, oh, Mr. Smith, you were completely wrong with that. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had the right company. Meanwhile, the stock's down 50%. Etsy lost $70 because Andrew left said they sold a fake t-shirt. How many vendors are in Etsy? You bet your ass that someone planted that, did the fake t-shirt, ratted them out to Andrew left, and they pinpointed the guy. He puts his hands up, said, I didn't know it was a counterfeiter. I'm sorry. And the stock got crushed. $70 was $130 when he did the story. ETSY. Fake t-shirt. Who the fuck could find a fake t-shirt? Andrew left it. That was a tip-off. Hey guys, I want to just talk about something for a second. I talked about maybe 3 weeks ago, a guy gave me a tip on a stock about $9. I helped him buy it. He told me to buy the stock, Nancy Eddy. I told you it was a nuclear power company. Nancy Eddy. I had people buy it. They sold it at 15 and 16. I thought we were heroes. I told you I saw the chairman of, I forget, was it Microsoft or somebody, talking about going all nuclear. They needed nuclear power. Well, today their stock is $26, up another 5, another 6. That's Wall Street. You hear things like this, you pay attention to it, and you find out, you do a little homework. I got out too soon, but you know what? The guy who paid it, he still owns it, so he's up, $16 in it now. And to me, that looks like a big short squeeze in it too, because that stock has been more volatile than finger motion, believe it or not, or DJT. It was up, it was down. How many people get shaken out on those wild swings? Finger motion hasn't had the wild swing, and that's why they're attacking it, pushing it down, William. They need people to sell the stock. That's what they need. But they can't let it go up because they can't afford the margin. So they're trying to push it down. And it's the same stupid pattern every day. Anyway, I just wanted to touch base with everybody. We're still here. We're not going away. Good, bad, indifference. We stay. We got 11 more days. In 2 hours, we go down to 11. I'm trying to get Pat Byrne. Believe me, I'm trying everything I can. The guy is in hiding somewhere in Europe. He posts early in the morning. I reach out to his cell phone. He doesn't get back to me. I don't think he wants anybody to know where he is. Maybe his phone is turned off. I have no idea. He does all that spy shit, so I don't know what the hell's going on. But that's our guy. And he told us he'll be in the administration. And I can see Trump getting in here and creating havoc in many areas besides the stake and short selling area. He's got a full slate of things that he's got to clean up. And his company, DJT, is on the list. And that's all. As long as DJT's on the list, we're going to be a winner. That's all you need to know. DJT being manipulated, keep killing it. I don't give a shit. The more they manipulate it, the better it is for us. All of us, any stocks. But you know what? I want the stocks that have got the most educated shareholders to get it first. And this way you can jump from stock to stock and really make a lot of money. Anyway, William, I'm sorry. I'm going to my doctor's office to make sure my scar is not oozing or pussing or anything of those type of things. So I have to go through this, and I apologize to everybody, but your health has to come first no matter what. And again, say a prayer for Mr. Rosenberg's wife who just passed
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
All right, everybody, I have to run.
All right,
Thank you.
bye, bye.
Thanks.
Okay,
Call ended.
Jacqueline, I'll try to answer that at another time. The number one thing you got to do is move M&2P to Nextbridge. You can't do anything about it. You do it. There's some discretion when you became aware of the fraud. So you, in your own personal clock, that might move it forward, but you don't have the money to fight those attorneys. So it's been my contention that Double D and his buddies, his acolytes on Twitter, are just there to get people not to do anything. I also think there's at least 30, if not 40% of the seats are still available, and it would help Nextbridge, I think, greatly if we filled up those seats. But there's not much you can do about it. Just remember that the shorts are trapped in Nextbridge as well. They're not in a powerful position. They're in a pretty sucky position, actually. But they're, in my judgment, they're interfering with business. They're interfering with your value in ways that are really criminal. But you know, they hide. They're bullies. But I think it'll come up. Down on finger, up on PSLV. Well, PSLV is not a, well, it could be a trading vehicle, I suppose. I think silver will double. It's already up. So now I'll say double or triple from here. I was saying more than that, but I think it's going to go 70, 80, $90 as the market goes up 30, 40, 50%. A lot of that will be the Fed providing liquidity. They have to organize that the country is very happy and that the flyover states are a bunch of crazed rednecks, and that the voting somehow the voting went to Kamala Harris. And so I think there'll be a lot of money going in to get the market up. But that's trying to come up with reasons. I don't know what the reasons are. Just technically, we're going to have a blow-off top in the markets. I think Mark says the Fed has $7 trillion. I think by the time this market rallies, and then I think next year you're going to have a massive, well, it could be 2 years, but I think it'll be next year. You're going to have a massive correction. I think the Fed's balance sheet could be 20 trillion, 25 trillion. We're really going to push the idea that we can each live our own truths. We can each honor our lived experiences, and somehow in this world, we can go with the squishy, squashy feelings, and things can be in our own safe space the way we want it. We're about to test that theory. I mean, I'm sure we can keep doing that until the walls come down or the safe space is overrun. But anyway, I don't think there's much you can do about the two-year deadline. Drug is not coming down after the short squeeze. I don't know anything about it, but that would really be painful for the shorts if that's true. David, that's awfully nice of you. And there was another question up here. can't remember the other question right now. Amish voting for Trump. Tell Gronk that he's a good boy. Gronk needs a big hug. Oh, this guy's a shill. I think it shows that they're in trouble. I don't know who that person is, but that's not the evidence that was reported in the earnings report. So you're just making it up. But for those of you that are asking, why can't Martin Shen talk? What this guy does is just make things up. It's okay with Gary Gensler. Couldn't care less. Could not care less. Is that called aiding and abetting? Accessory after the fact? Or just general all around goober? All right, guys, I've got a splitting headache, so I'm gonna sign off. I don't have anything more to share tonight. I think nixx is gonna do just fine this week. There's a video, Tony Cowboy Clown. I don't know who that is. Look, you can take an earnings report, which is a snapshot, and try to do extrapolations. It looked to me that like they had 800,000 in cash. They had a lot of near cash, a lot, 13 million. And I don't think the company's in trouble for cash. All right, thank you, Bo. I'm going to sign off before I fade in front of you, as opposed to fading into you. Mazzy Star. Is it true that in music today there's no, Bill Burr pointed out that in music today there's no guitar solos. Is that true? I like what Matthew says. They have 4 million in net receivables. That's enough for 12 months. I spent my money on women, alcohol, and fast cars. Spent most of it that way. The rest I just wasted. All right, I'm going to sign off. I'm really dragging, so I'm sorry. I don't have the energy to keep going. We'll see you tomorrow, and pray for peace, especially for children.